It's kind of funny now looking back at the bantamweight debut of Naoya Inoue. Back in 2018 against the large frame Jamie McDonnell, you weren't sure how the power was going to transfer. You suspected he was going to do well because we'd already seen the quality of the guy. But boom, first round KO. Okay, McDonnell was probably a little bit weight drained. But then Inoue goes on to basically stop everyone he faces. Even in the first on-air fight, Inoue was technically robbed of a KO because the ref blocks him, doesn't allow a follow-up, and then seems to even reach a count of 10, and then still allows Nonito to rise. I'm not sure what was going on there, but hey, it is what it is on the record books now. And so Inoue was still the destroyer at 118 pounds. A weight which may go on to prove his ideal poundage. Inoue does have a pretty modest light frame. He's certainly not thick set like the likes of Ahkmadaliev up at 122. But we don't know yet. We've got that same I'm not sure we had as he went up to bantamweight. Now Butler let us in on that little secret of Inoue's efficiency. That it's not so much the raw power, it's the timing of the guy. He catches you when you're not expecting it. He knows how to open you up. He knows how to probe for openings and then capitalize. The Japanese has those inherent qualities and instincts which very well may transfer to 122 and create similar consequences. The chances of him being just as destructive, though, are less. They've got to be reduced. It's just physics. Every time you go up in weight, your power is going to have a little bit less of an impression against bigger men who are probably used to sparring against slightly bigger men again. I know Inoue has sparred with the likes of a featherweight Lee Wood, and he may have even credited him as the hardest hitter he's ever fought. That just starts to give you an idea of the difference in power when you start playing with the bigger boys. Now, does this mean I doubt Inoue's ability to do damage at 122? No way. As good as Ahkmadaliev is, I love the way he pushed for the stoppage in his last fight. He is comparatively slow. He is open. He welcomes the fight. Yes, he does have a nice little bounce and a step. He does think about what he does before he attacks. He is not without skill himself. Make no mistake. But I still can definitely see Inoue catching him in some sweet positions. And then it's just a question of how much damage those well-placed shots are going to do. The likes of Stephen Fulton, a bit more defensively minded, rangy, may prove to be the most difficult, again, on paper for Inoue. But Inoue is so slick himself. Are we going to see just how good of a boxer he is when he faces somebody like Fulton? Again, if he was to out-sharpshoot the likes of a Fulton, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, in a perfect situation, Inoue would become undisputed at this weight in no longer than 2 years' time. So that when he's about 31, going on 32. Ahkmadaliev has got 2 belts. Fulton's got the other 2. So long as he doesn't go up again himself, they can fight Inoue. They can both make a lot of money. And then I think at that point, if Inoue was also destructive, a lot of people would be saying yes, pound for pound, number 1. But this isn't where it stops. Inoue himself, and something I kind of suspected, just going off his talent, not his frame, he very well may end up at featherweight when he does the last leg of his career. And an interesting point about featherweight, something I have mentioned on my channel before, is that I think it's the lowest weight that the casual fan will give the time of day. I know it's lame. I know a lot of my favourite fighters are in the teeny weights, but just the general psychology of your average casual fan, he will only, I think, go as low as featherweight if you're a somebody and go, okay, you know, you're a small guy, but you're a good guy. You're good to watch. You go lower than that, and nah, it's just too small. They haven't got time for super bantam and lower. That is something I've kind of noticed over watching boxing for the last 20 plus years. And so if Inoue can remain a real player as he goes into 126, if he still carries some of that power, that might be the moment in which he breaks into that more mainstream superstardom that he basically deserves right now, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But how do we all see Inoue doing at 122 pounds? I suspect we need to get those answers before we start talking about featherweight. We have two unique challenges at Super Bantam. Ahkmadaliev, Fulton, they're both good fighters. Both have different skill sets. Is the monster going to find them a little chewy? Or is he going to serve up a spectacular again? In an ideal world, you could say at this point a fantastical world, we get both fights next year. But if we at least get one of them, how do you see him doing against both of those guys?